One of the hottest things in fitness right now, as you all know, is called connected fitness. And this refers to things like stationary bikes and smart watches. And I know that after what Carl shared yesterday and in meeting Jennifer Jacobs, that you're also eagerly anticipating our own foray into the connected fitness world with the mixed bike. But as awesome as that is, it isn't the kind of connection I have been thinking about. I want to talk to you about the connections that you create. Author and speaker Brené Brown says that connection is the energy that exists between two people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. It's these connections, the ones that are forged between coach and customer, between a coach and their team, and in every coach-led group, that are the bedrock of our community, and really is what makes us different. A few months ago, I heard about a study, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. For me, it represents how important connection is for us as a company and why it sets us apart. The study occurred in 1978. A group of researchers were looking into the causes of heart disease, specifically at the impact of a high-fat diet on the heart. Now, while we understand today that a diet high in saturated and trans fats is bad for you, they hadn't made that connection back in 1978. For the study, groups of rabbits were fed a high-fat diet to try to better understand its correlation to high blood cholesterol and heart health. Now, it was a pretty standard study. The rabbits were broken into several groups and were all fed the exact same high-fat diet over several months. At the end, the rabbits' cholesterol, heart rates, and blood pressure were measured. Their findings really were what they expected. All the rabbits' measurements were higher in these areas. Since the rabbits were all the same breed, were all fed the same exact diet, just the outcome just made sense, until it didn't. One of the last steps of the study was to examine the rabbits' blood vessels through a microscope to see the level of fatty deposits on the insides of their arteries. One group of rabbits had a massive variation in their results. All the rabbits in this particular group had about 60% fewer fatty deposits in their arteries, an incredible difference compared to the other rabbits in those similar groups. And honestly, the researchers were totally baffled. They checked and they rechecked the findings with the same results each time. They went back over the research methods and could find nothing unusual. The rabbits were all from the same genetic line, they were all fed the exact same diet, and they were all measured in the exact same way. All the parameters they had accounted for to ensure the accuracy of the study held true. Determined to discover the cause, they began to look at things outside the research parameters to see if something outside those parameters had somehow influenced the results. And that was when they looked more closely at a member of the team named Marina Levesky. Now, the head researcher described her as an unusually kind and caring individual. And it quickly became clear that all of the healthier rabbits, those with the less fatty deposits in their arteries, had been under Marina's care. They looked carefully at what she was feeding them and confirmed it was the exact same diet that the rabbits in the other groups had received. They verified again that all the same protocols were being followed, and again, all the established parameters held true. They were baffled, but something was different, because the fact that all the healthier rabbits were under Marina's care couldn't be a coincidence. But what did she do that others didn't that made such a huge difference in the health of the rabbits she cared for? The research team dug even deeper until stumbling upon something that stood out to them. They noticed that Marina handled the rabbits differently than other researchers. When she fed her rabbits, she talked to them and cuddled them in her arms. She didn't just pass out the food like the other researchers did. She showed them kindness. She built a connection with them in a way that none of the other researchers did with their rabbits. Now, the researchers really had a hard time believing that showing kindness and building a connection could make a physiological difference. So they decided to repeat the study, really this time tightly controlling for every variable again, except for how the rabbits were treated. And when they analyzed the results of the new study, this one they just did, the exact same thing happened again. The rabbits who were cared for by someone showing genuine kindness and who built a connection with them had significantly better health outcomes. So what can we as a community learn from these rabbits? What does it tell us about the role of genuine connections in our groups and in our communities in helping people reach their goals and leading a more healthy and fulfilling life? Dr. Kelly Harding, author of The Rabbit Effect, reflected on how this study impacts our understanding of kindness, love, unity, and support in helping people live healthy lives. She said, "Take a rabbit with an unhealthy lifestyle, talk to it, hold it, give it affection. The relationship makes a difference in their health. Ultimately, what affects our health in the most meaningful ways has as much to do with how we treat one another, how we live, and how we think about what it means to be human." Coaches, do you fully understand the impact you're able to make here? Do you see better now how vital you can be in helping people live a more healthy and fulfilling life? Consider this quote by Dr. Joanne Cacciatore, author and expert in the field of helping people through loss. She said, "There is simply no pill that could replace human connection. There is no pharmacy that can fill the need for compassionate interaction with others. There is no panacea. The answer to human suffering is both within us and between us." Now, since hearing about this rabbit study several months ago, I've thought a lot about kindness and connection and how it drives our mission. As a publicly traded company, we are thrilled by the opportunities we have now that we've never had before to be more visible and to reach more people. But with that greater reach, more eyes are going to be on us now than there ever have been before. We're more visible than ever. And our approach and methods will be dissected and analyzed more than they ever have been. Who's Team Beachbody? What are they all about? Can they be trusted? Do they have what it takes to grow and compete? Do their coaches really want to help people? Or is it all about making a quick buck? Now, there's no doubt that we will continue to have voices come out of the woodwork who only want to amplify negativity and pessimism about who we are and what we do and how we do it. But those voices do not get to define us. Our heart, our choices, and our actions are what define us. And more people are discovering what we have known for years, that true, lasting lifestyle change in health and fitness happens more readily when there is a support and a community behind you. In other words, when there is a feeling of connection. And that brings me back to the lesson for us found in those rabbits: kindness and connection. Our mission statement is one of connected kindness. Not only are we at our very best when we live up to those values, we leave our competition searching for answers about how we do it. And nearly every story that we hear of a life that has been changed has had this connected kindness as a critical ingredient. And it was one of the things that jumped out to me when I read Erica Toddhunter's story. Now, we all face moments of truth from time to time. For Erica, one of these moments came not too long ago. She told me, "For the last few years, I've really been struggling to keep the weight off. I was injured during my time in the military, and those injuries started impacting my entire body. I tried to lose the weight before with other things, but it just wasn't sustainable. When COVID happened, I was so overwhelmed that I turned to food." She continued, "I had been following Megan on Instagram for a while, but I didn't have the courage to reach out because I was embarrassed. That all changed when I found out that I had developed scoliosis in my back, as well as thinning discs in my spine. The pain was so bad I could hardly walk some days. Something finally snapped in me. I was 27 years old. I had to do what I could do to be as healthy as I could be." Now, Megan didn't know Erica had been watching her. But in that moment when Erica needed help and was ready to make a change, she thought of Megan. She said, "I reached out to Megan through Instagram and asked her if she had room in her boot camp. I didn't know it then, but my life was forever changed by that decision. Megan sent me so many resources and connected me in groups where I was introduced to 2B Mindset. And that program has completely changed my relationship with food. Food used to control me, but now I am in control, she said. Now, Erica thought she was just going to get Megan's help. Little did she know that there was an entire community of people waiting to support her. She said, most of my family and friends had no interest in losing weight right then, and I knew I needed support. Like it is for a lot of people, for me, weight loss is a mental as well as a physical challenge. And it's so easy to get discouraged because it isn't easy. The people in my groups help me stay grounded and moving forward. They helped me press play when I really didn't want to. They made me feel accepted and like I wasn't alone on this journey. Being in my groups gave me the confidence to believe that I could do it. More importantly, that I was worth it. I love that. Now, Erica first reached out to Megan in January of this year. Thanks to 2B Mindset, Bar Blend, and the community Megan connected her with, she has lost over 40 pounds and over 25 inches and has kept it off. Absolutely amazing. Erica, we're so proud of you. Coaches, it's time to realize how much you can do. You've got to embrace that. There has never been a moment in the history of Team Beachbody like right now, and you're a part of it. You have the power to find and connect with new people. You are capable of pushing through your self-doubt to keep offering your help. You can use the tools that you have as a coach to make real, lasting change. By contributing to your groups and using them to help people find their place in your community, in our community, you can transform lives. There's a deep purpose and a soul to what your business is about, and a richness of experience that comes from an approach that puts people first. Now, I want to close by going back to where I started. In the concluding chapter of The Rabbit Effect, Dr. Kelly Harding said something that I hope you will all remember. She said, "It's true that love doesn't magically clear up a rash, heal a broken bone, or cure cancer. But we know kindness and connection help prevent disease and reduce illness severity. And here's the amazing thing. To cultivate relationships, contribute to our communities, and to be kind costs us nothing. We each have the capability to contribute to better health for ourselves and others." What a great quote. Now, coaches, there's a reason we are able to do things that no other company can do. A reason why we've got a future that's so bright and exciting. It's because of coaches like you out there every day showing people there's a better way to live, a better life, building connections and helping people to live better. The rabbits were healthier because of the continual ongoing care and connection they received. Each individual in your group will benefit so much from the connections you work to help them create. And those connections and kindness will have every bit as much to do with them reaching their goals and living a healthy and fulfilling life as our programs and products will. And that's why, even with all the new and exciting things we have happening right now, the constant advantage that sets us apart is what you do. No one can do what you do in the way that you do it.